Hello, friends, and welcome back to the English Hub. Grab your tea, coffee, or maybe even some hot chocolate, because today we're diving into something both tricky and funny, the art of saying no.
And I think we need to start with you, Jess. You are the queen of yes. Honestly, if someone at a bus stop handed you their dog and said, "Can you just hold him while I run to the shop?" you'd say, "Of course, no problem."
David, that literally happened last week. I was standing there with this giant Labrador, and people walking by thought he was mine. For 15 minutes, I was just a temporary dog mom.
See? That's what I mean. You just can't resist saying yes. You have this face that says, "Sure, give me your problems. I'll carry them."
And you, on the other hand, Mr. Confident Business Owner, you say no with this little polite smile, like you're rejecting an offer for a free trip to Mars.
Well, Jess, you've got to protect your calendar. If I said yes to everything, I'd never sleep.
Yeah, you're always so composed. Someone asks, "David, can you join this meeting at 7 a.m.?" And you just smile and go, "No, thank you." Like it's the easiest thing in the world. Meanwhile, if someone asks me, "Jess, can you help me move my furniture on Saturday?" I panic and say, "Yes, of course," and then regret it the whole week.
It's true. You say yes out of kindness, but sometimes kindness looks a little like chaos.
Exactly. And I end up exhausted. But that's why I'm excited about this episode, because saying no isn't about being rude. It's about saving your time, your energy, and honestly, your sanity.
Yes, and we want our listeners to feel cozy and relaxed while we explore this. So, friends, maybe you're listening in your kitchen while making breakfast, or you're on a walk, or curled up with a blanket. This is your space to just enjoy English in the background.
Right. No homework, no tests, no pressure. Just us, some laughs, and hopefully a few aha moments.
And maybe you'll recognize yourself in Jess' stories, always saying yes to everything. Or maybe you're more like me, protecting your time with a careful no.
Either way, today we're going to have fun. We'll share why we say yes too much, why it's so hard to say no, and how we can practice saying it without feeling guilty.
So sit back, relax, sip that tea or coffee, and let's get started.
So David, here's the thing. I think the number one reason people can't say no is this. We don't want to disappoint people.
Yes, absolutely. We imagine their sad face, their little sigh, or maybe even their anger, and suddenly it feels easier to just say yes.
Exactly. Like when someone asks, "Can you help me this weekend?" And in your head, you're screaming, "No, I want to stay home in my pajamas." But out loud, you go, "Yes, sure."
Oh, I know that feeling. And then Saturday comes, and instead of being in pajamas with coffee, you're carrying heavy boxes, wondering, why didn't I just say no?
Yes, we don't want to hurt people's feelings. We want them to like us, to think we're kind and helpful.
It's like we're afraid that one no will erase all the good things we've ever done.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like, "Sorry, I can't help you move your sofa." And suddenly you imagine them saying, "Well then, I guess we're not friends anymore."
Exactly. But usually, people don't react like that. Most of the time, they just say, "Okay, no problem," and the world keeps turning.
Yes, but in our heads, we imagine this big drama, like we're breaking their heart with one little no.
And I think sometimes we also confuse saying no with not caring. But they're different. You can care about someone and still say no.
Oh, that's such a good point. Saying no doesn't mean you don't like the person. It just means you're protecting your time or energy.
Exactly. And honestly, if a friend only likes you when you say yes to everything, maybe that friendship needs a little review.
A friendship audit. Let me check. Do you like me as a person or only as a free moving service?
Right. But seriously, fear of disappointing people is powerful. It makes us say yes when we actually want to say no.
And then we disappoint ourselves instead because we're tired, stressed, and sometimes even a little resentful.
Yes, that's the hidden cost. We protect others from disappointment, but give it all to ourselves.
Wow, that's so true. And I guess the trick is learning that it's okay if someone is a little disappointed. They'll survive, and we'll survive too.
Exactly. One small no doesn't destroy relationships, but constant fake yeses can destroy your peace of mind.
Okay, that needs to go on a t-shirt. One no won't kill your friendship, but too many yeses might kill your weekend.
Perfect slogan. We'll sell it after the show.
But seriously, listeners, think about it. Do you say yes because you really want to, or because you're afraid of disappointing someone?
That's the question. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is say no with kindness and honesty.
Exactly. So, David, the other big reason I think we say yes too much is we just want people to like us.
Yes, the classic people pleaser problem. We think if I say no, they'll think I'm selfish or unfriendly.
Exactly. Like when your coworker says, "Hey, can you take my shift?" And even if you're exhausted, you smile and say, "Of course," because you don't want them to see you as the bad guy.
And then you're the one drinking 3 coffees at midnight, asking yourself why you're such a yes machine.
Yes, machine. That's me. Push the button and I say yes automatically.
But here's the thing, people often respect you more when you have boundaries. Saying no doesn't make you unlikable, it makes you trustworthy.
That's so true because then your yes really means something. If you only say yes when you truly can, people know they can count on it.
Exactly. But when you say yes to everything, sometimes people don't even take it seriously. They think, oh, Jess will agree to anything.
Oh no, that's too real. I've had friends say, "We knew you'd say yes." And I thought, wait, is that a compliment or am I just easy to use?
Probably a little of both. But seriously, wanting to be liked is natural. Humans want connection, approval, and to feel part of the group.
Yes, it's biology, right? Back in the olden days, if the group didn't like you, you were in trouble. No food, no fire, no safety.
Exactly. So our brains still think, if I say no, they'll kick me out of the tribe.
The tribe of coworkers, the tribe of classmates, the tribe of bus stop dog owners.
Yes, all the modern tribes. But the reality is, saying no doesn't mean rejection. It just means you have limits like everyone else.
And honestly, people usually like you more when you're real. Nobody actually loves a fake yes. They love honesty.
Right. And if someone only likes you when you sacrifice yourself, that's not real liking, that's convenience.
Wow, that hits hard. So maybe the trick is this. If you want people to like you for who you have to show who you are, including your no's.
Exactly. A kind no can be more powerful than a forced yes.
Maybe I'll start practicing that with strangers at the bus stop. Next time someone hands me a dog, I'll say, "No, thank you, but he's very cute."
Progress. We'll get you there, Jess. One no at a time.
And one more reason why it's so hard to say no, we're terrified of being seen as bad people. Like, if I refuse to help a friend move their couch on Sunday, I'm instantly imagining myself as some sort of villain in a moral soap opera.
Right, you're sitting there at night staring dramatically out the window thinking, why didn't I help Alex? I'm heartless, a monster. I'll never be invited to brunch again.
Exactly. And meanwhile, Alex, the one who asked for help, has totally moved on. He's out having pizza, forgot he even asked you, maybe even found someone else to help.
Yep, he's chilling, watching Netflix, probably eating that pizza you recommended last week, while you're 3 hours deep in guilt land drafting imaginary apology text you'll never send.
It's like our brain doesn't realize that other people don't replay these moments as obsessively as we do. We think saying no ruins relationships, when in reality, people usually don't care that much.
True, most of the time the person just moves on. But we build this whole emotional court case against ourselves. Exhibit A, I said no. Exhibit B, they sighed. Exhibit C, I'm a terrible human who doesn't deserve nice things.
And it gets worse when it's a small favor. Like, can you just quickly review my 27-page presentation before tomorrow? You say no because, well, you want to sleep, but then you spend the next 2 hours feeling like you've crushed someone's dreams.
And here's the irony. When the roles are reversed, we totally understand if they say no. We're like, yeah, of course you're busy, no problem. But when we do it, it's suddenly the end of civilization.
Exactly. We apply double standards, compassion for others, guilt for ourselves. It's like our empathy's broken in one direction.
I think part of it is we mix up kindness with obedience. We think being a good person means always saying yes, but being kind doesn't mean being available 24/7.
Totally. Saying no can actually be an act of respect for your time, your energy, even for the other person, because at least you're being honest instead of resentful.
But still, that little voice in your head goes, you should have helped, you're a disappointment, and you start spiraling like you owe humanity your constant assistance.
And that's how you end up sitting by the window in your pajamas, dramatic lighting, sipping tea, whispering to yourself, I'm not a bad person, right?
Oh yeah, the classic 10 p.m. guilt monologue. Meanwhile, the person you said no to, they're asleep, probably dreaming about something else entirely.
So moral of the story, you're not a bad person for saying no. You're just a person with limits. The world won't collapse, and your friends will survive without your superhero cape.
Exactly. So next time you say no, don't waste your evening by the window. Watch a movie, go for a walk, or, my favorite, celebrate that you've just protected your peace.
Amen to that, because trust me, the only one still thinking about that no is you.
And the only thing you should feel guilty about is not buying extra pizza.
Okay, David, here's another reason people can't say no. Deep down, we believe saying yes makes us a good person.
Yes, the saint syndrome. People think if I say yes to everything, I'm kind, generous, and basically Mother Teresa.
That's me. I'm not just Jessica. I'm Saint Jessica of Los Angeles, protector of bus stop dogs, helper of friends with heavy sofas.
Yes, we should get you a halo. Except yours would probably be crooked because you're carrying someone's groceries while wearing it.
Exactly. But honestly, that's what happens. We connect saying yes with being good, helpful, even lovable.
Right. And when you say no, suddenly it feels like you're mean, selfish, or lazy.
Yes, I've said no to something before and then immediately thought, oh no, I'm a terrible human being. Someone call the kindness police.
The kindness police? That's terrifying. Excuse me, ma'am. We heard you said no to helping your neighbor move a fridge. Please hand over your good person card.
Exactly, and then they take away my coffee as punishment.
But seriously, this is such a big trap. Saying yes doesn't make you a better person. It just makes you a busier person.
Yes, and sometimes a more tired, cranky, resentful person. And cranky Jessica is definitely not a good person.
Oh, I've met cranky Jessica. Trust me, listeners, you don't want to see that side.
Hey, and what about you, Mr. Confident Business Owner? You say no all the time. Does that mean you're the bad guy?
Not at all. I think it makes me efficient. And let's be honest, Jess, sometimes saying no is the kinder choice.
How so?
Well, imagine I say yes to helping 5 people, but then I'm so tired that I show up late, grumpy, and not very useful. That's not kindness, that's chaos.
True, a half-dead David carrying my sofa doesn't sound very helpful.
Exactly. But if I say no when I can't, my yes becomes stronger and more valuable when I really mean it.
Wow, that's actually so good. So maybe the truth is being a good person doesn't mean saying yes to everything. It means being honest, clear, and kind with your answers.
Exactly. And sometimes the kindest, most good thing you can do is say no because it's honest and it respects both your needs and theirs.
Okay. So maybe Saint Jessica needs to retire. No more halo, no more free dog sitting at the bus stop.
Yes, retire with honor. You've done your service. Now you can be realistic, Jessica, the woman who says no politely and drinks her coffee in peace.
Honestly, that sounds even better than halo.
See, sometimes no is the new yes.
You know what, David? If no is the new yes, then we really need to talk about what happens when you don't say no.
Yes, the hidden cost of always saying yes. Spoiler, it's not pretty.
Nope, because when I say yes too much, I end up exhausted, stressed, and, let's be honest, just a little resentful.
Just a little? Jess, I've seen you after a week of yes marathons.
You look like you've been running 3 birthday parties, 2 dog walks, and a surprise babysitting shift all at once.
Okay, guilty. One time I did say yes to 3 birthday parties in one evening. I thought, oh, it'll be fine. Spoiler, it was not fine.
What did you do? Just eat cake at each one and run out the door?
Exactly. Cake buffet tour. By the last party, I was basically just a balloon with legs. And the worst part, instead of enjoying, I felt rushed and annoyed.
That's the cost right there. People think saying yes makes everyone happy, but in the end, you're not happy, and sometimes the people you said yes to can feel that energy too.
Totally. I remember one friend asked me for help, and I said yes, but inside I was screaming no. So I showed up tired with my grumpy face. And guess what? My friend noticed.
Exactly. A resentful yes feels worse than a kind no.
That should be on a t-shirt. Resentful yes, bad. Kind no, good.
Catchy. But really, when you always say yes, your schedule fills up with everyone else's priorities, not yours.
Yes, suddenly your whole week is help someone move, attend this extra meeting, water someone's plants, babysit someone's cat, and 0 time for yourself.
And then you feel guilty for being tired. Like, why am I so stressed? I'm supposed to be a good person.
Story of my life. The cost of saying yes is not just time, it's your peace of mind, your energy, your joy.
Right. And when you're stretched too thin, you can't even give your best to the things you actually care about.
Exactly. It's like spreading butter on too much bread. Everything gets a little dry and unsatisfying.
Jess, are you saying too many yeses turns you into stale toast?
Yes, a resentful, overworked piece of stale toast. That's me when I don't say no.
Well, then it's time to protect the butter, Jess. One slice at a time.
Protect the butter. Okay, that's my new motto.
So, we talked about feeling exhausted and stressed, but I think there's an even bigger cost when you say yes to everything.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. The lost time.
Yes! Every time I say yes to something random, I'm basically saying no to something I actually care about.
Exactly. Like the time you agreed to help your neighbor alphabetize her DVD collection instead of going to your yoga class.
Okay, first of all, yes, that happened. And second of all, who even has DVDs anymore? But there I was, on the floor, putting Finding Nemo before Frozen, thinking, why am I doing this instead of relaxing at yoga?
Because you couldn't say no. And that's the hidden cost. Your time gets stolen by things that don't matter, while the things that do matter, your health, your hobbies, your people, get pushed aside.
Yes, like I'll say yes to attending some random committee meeting at work, and then I don't have time to call my mom, and then I feel guilty on 2 levels.
It's like trading diamonds for paper clips.
Okay, thanks for calling my time a diamond. That's very poetic, David.
Well, it is. Your time is the most valuable thing you've got. You can't make more of it. You can only spend it.
And I'm over here spending it on alphabetizing DVDs and baking brownies for the office party I didn't even want to attend.
Classic Jess. Meanwhile, your guitar is sitting in the corner waiting for you to finally play it again.
Oh, don't remind me. It literally has dust on it. That guitar is like, hello, remember me. You used to love me before you became the yes machine.
That's the tragedy of it, right? We say yes to avoid guilt in the short term, but in the long term, we lose what actually matters to us.
Yes, it's like I said yes to helping 3 friends move, but said no to writing even 1 page of my journal. Guess which one I'll regret more in 10 years?
Exactly. 10 years from now, you won't care that you helped move a couch, but you will care that you didn't invest in yourself.
Unless that couch was really, really heavy, then I'll care because my back will still hurt.
Fair point. But seriously, Jess, this is why learning to say no is so important. It's not about being mean. It's about protecting space for the things you truly value.
Yes, family, friends, health, hobbies, dreams, the stuff that makes life feel full instead of just busy.
And honestly, Jess, you're fun to tease, but you're not the only one. We all do this. We all say yes to too much and then wonder why we feel disconnected from what we actually care about.
True. Okay, listeners, homework time. Next time someone asks you to do something random, just imagine your guitar or your book or your family calling out, "Pick me instead."
Yes, let your dusty guitar guilt trip you into saying no. That's one strategy.
Hey, whatever works. Okay, David, enough talking about why saying yes too much is a problem. Let's get practical. How do we actually say no without feeling like the worst human on earth?
Yes, because honestly, listeners, it's all about phrases. You don't have to be rude or grumpy. You just need to be polite and firm.
Like me trying to tell a friend I can't babysit their cat. Instead of screaming, "No!" I could just say, "Thanks, but I can't this time."
Exactly. That simple phrase works wonders. Thanks, but I can't. You acknowledge the request, you're polite, and you set a boundary.
And it doesn't involve sweat, panic, or accidentally agreeing to 3 birthday parties in one night.
Yes, and you can also say, not this time. It's short, polite, and it keeps the door open for another time if you want.
Oh, I love that. It's like saying no without slamming the door.
Exactly. And here's another tip. Add a little kindness. For example, thanks so much for thinking of me, but I can't today. I hope it goes well.
Oh, David, you make it sound so calm and classy. I imagine saying that and everyone immediately thinking, wow, she's wise and kind and totally chill.
And they will think that. People actually respect honesty when it's delivered kindly.
Okay. What about tricky ones, like when someone keeps asking for a favor over and over?
Good point. You can be firm without being mean. I'm really sorry. I won't be able to help with that again, but I hope you can find another solution.
That sounds so grown up. I feel like my inner Saint Jessica is taking notes.
Yes, even saints need scripts. And don't forget body language. Smile, keep your posture relaxed, but say no confidently.
Ah, yes, because saying no with a nervous frown is basically saying, please feel guilty for me.
Exactly. Smile, and they'll feel your kindness, not your guilt.
And I guess humor helps too. Like, I would love to help, but my calendar says, do not overload Jessica today.
Perfect. That's polite, funny, and makes your point crystal clear.
I like that. Or even, I can't this time, but I promise I'm sending good vibes your way.
Love it. And here's a secret tip. Practice saying no in low-stakes situations. Text a friend you can't meet, skip a free online webinar, anything small.
Yes, train yourself. Start with the tiny no's so the big ones feel easier.
Exactly. And remember, listeners, saying no isn't mean. It's necessary. And with polite phrases like, thanks, but I can't, not this time, or I'm really sorry, I can't, you protect your time without guilt.
Okay, David, I think I'm ready. Next time someone asks me to alphabetize their DVD collection, I'll just say, thanks, but I can't this time.
Yes, and you won't feel guilty, and the DVDs will survive without you.
I hope so. And honestly, this makes saying no feel fun, like a little power move with kindness sprinkled on top.
Exactly. Polite, firm, kind, and confident. That's the recipe.
Okay, David, so we've covered polite and firm ways to say no, but sometimes people feel bad even after saying no. That's where offering an alternative comes in.
Exactly. Instead of just a flat no, you can say, I can't today, but maybe next week. It's polite, keeps the connection, and gives you breathing room.
Oh, I like that. It's like saying no, but with a friendly little wink.
Exactly. You're basically saying, I care about you, but I also care about my sanity.
And honestly, that's important. Like, I could say no to helping a friend move today, but maybe next weekend I can help.
Or like when someone invites you to a meeting at 7 a.m., you can say, I can't today, but I'd be happy to join the next one. Keeps your boundaries, but doesn't burn bridges.
Yes, and you don't even have to over-explain. Just short, simple, friendly. I can't today. Maybe next week? Boom.
And people usually appreciate it. They know you're honest, and they know you're still supportive.
Plus, it feels nice to give yourself some wiggle room. You're not trapped in an immediate yes, but you're also not cutting the person off completely.
Exactly. And you can even add a little humor. I can't today. I'm busy training for the Olympics of doing nothing, but maybe next week?
Oh, yes, that's perfect. Honestly, humor makes it easier for both sides. You get your no across, but everyone's still smiling.
Or something simple like, I can't today, but I'd love to help another time. Let's check calendars. Professional, polite, and keeps the friendship intact.
Yeah, I love that approach. It makes saying no feel less like a rejection and more like a thoughtful answer.
And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Soon, you won't feel guilty at all. You'll just say, I can't today, but maybe next week, and mean it.
I'm going to practice that today. Maybe I'll tell my neighbor, I can't water your plants this weekend, but maybe next week?
Perfect. And maybe add, unless your plants have legs and can walk themselves.
Exactly. Gentle, kind, funny, and firm. That's the magic formula.
Yes, polite, firm, alternative offered, with a little humor. That's how you say no without guilt, and maybe even make people like you more.
Who knew no could feel so good?
Exactly. No is not the enemy. It's freedom, clarity, and sometimes even fun.
David, I think this is the most important lesson of all. When you say no to the unimportant stuff, you're actually saying yes to what really matters.
Exactly. Every yes you give comes at a cost. If you say yes to 3 extra meetings, guess what you're saying no to? Your morning walk, your coffee in peace, or even a little nap.
Or your Netflix binge, which, let's be honest, matters.
Yes, that's important life research right there.
Seriously, though, I've started noticing this in my own life. When I say no to small, random favors, I have space for the things that actually bring me joy. My journaling, reading, even playing the guitar instead of alphabetizing DVDs.
Exactly. Saying no isn't selfish, it's smart. It's like telling the universe, I value my time, my energy, and the things that matter.
And it feels good. I mean, I used to feel guilty for saying no. Now I feel powerful.
Powerful and balanced, like a superhero with boundaries.
Yes, Saint Jessica retired, and now we have Boundary Jessica. Strong, polite, and loves her coffee.
And the cool thing is, the more you protect your yeses, the more meaningful they become. You're not spreading yourself thin, you're investing in what counts.
Exactly. It's like putting your energy in a savings account. If you give it all away on tiny tasks, there's nothing left for the big dreams, the real fun, or even just your own peace of mind.
And let's be honest, sometimes what matters is just chilling with a good cup of tea and pretending you're on a podcast with a fun co-host.
True, that definitely counts.
So, listeners, here's the takeaway. Don't feel guilty for saying no to the unimportant stuff. That's how you make room for the things that actually light you up.
Yes, and the best part, saying no to small things doesn't just protect your time, it protects your happiness, your energy, and even your friendships. Because a resentful yes is no good for anyone.
Exactly. It's a win-win. You say no when it matters, and you can fully say yes when it matters.
I feel like this is a superpower I've just discovered. No more random yeses, only thoughtful, meaningful yeses.
Welcome to the club, Jess. Your first mission? Practice saying no politely, offer an alternative if you can, and protect your important yeses.
Mission accepted. Let's save some coffee time and Netflix for ourselves. Okay, David, here's a fun way to look at it. Saying no to the small, unimportant stuff opens space for things that actually matter.
Exactly. Like saying no to endless scrolling on your phone, and yes to reading a book, even just 5 pages.
Yes, I tried that yesterday. I was about to scroll for an hour, but then I picked up a book. 10 minutes later, I was hooked. And my phone? Lonely and abandoned on the table.
That's the magic. And it works for other things too. You protect your energy for what matters instead of giving it away to mindless tasks.
Speaking of energy, David, I think we need to talk about your cooking invites.
Oh no, here we go.
I love your cooking, David, don't get me wrong. But sometimes I have to say no to your 3-course experimental dinners and yes to the dessert. Priorities, you know?
I see. So, no to appetizers, yes to chocolate lava cake. Got it.
Exactly. It's all about picking what really matters. Life's too short to say yes to everything, even if it's food.
True. And the same principle works for bigger things too. Saying no to minor favors or random tasks means you have time for your hobbies, friends, family, or just a quiet moment to breathe.
Yes. I mean, I finally started journaling every day after saying no to a few unnecessary yeses. Now I feel calmer and happier.
See? Small no's, big yeses. And don't forget, sometimes saying yes to yourself is the most important yes of all.
Absolutely. So, listeners, the next time someone asks you for something small and unimportant, pause. Maybe say no. And then say yes to something that truly lights you up.
Exactly. And if you're worried about hurting feelings, just offer it politely. I can't today, but maybe next time. Or even, not now, but I'd love to help later.
Or in my case, I can't eat your experimental main course, but I will definitely take dessert.
Perfect example. That's the beauty of saying no wisely. You get to protect your time, your energy, and still enjoy the sweet stuff in life. By the way, speaking about protect your time, let's try something. I guess you will love it. I have 3 amazing projects you must join this week. First, there's the social media campaign for a local cafe.
Oh no, David, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed already.
Don't worry, the second project is an online webinar series about productivity. You'd be perfect.
Wait, there's a second one too?
Yes, and the third, oh, you'll love this, organizing a charity bake sale downtown.
David, that's 3 things. Okay, time to practice my polite no's.
Yes, show our listeners how it's done.
All right, first project. Thanks so much for thinking of me, David, but I can't join the social media campaign this week.
Nice, polite and firm, very professional.
Second one. I really appreciate the invitation to the webinar series, but not this time. I hope it goes well.
Perfect. And the tone is so friendly. Listeners, notice how she acknowledges the offer, says no, and adds a kind word.
Third one. I'm really flattered you asked me to help with the bake sale, David. I can't this week, but maybe next time I can join.
Yes, that's the alternative technique. You're saying no now, but leaving the door open politely.
See? It's actually fun. You can say no without feeling guilty, and everyone still feels respected.
Exactly. Let's recap for listeners. The phrases we just used were,
Thanks, but I can't.
not this time.
I really appreciate it, but I can't.
I can't today, but maybe next time.
And don't forget, add a little kindness or humor if it fits. It makes the no feel friendly, not harsh.
Right, and listeners, the more you practice these phrases in small situations, the easier it becomes to use them in bigger ones.
Exactly. Start small. Say no to a webinar you don't want to attend, or skip a coffee chat you're not in the mood for. Build your confidence.
And soon, you'll be saying no gracefully to multiple projects, like Jess just did, without stress or guilt.
Yes, and maybe even with a smile.
Perfect. That's the magic formula: polite, firm, friendly, and confident.
Yes, friendly and confident. You know, David, we've talked about polite no's and role play, but what about the tricky part? Different types of people. Saying no isn't one size fits all.
Absolutely. Each person reacts differently, and knowing how to handle them is half the battle.
Okay, example 1. The persistent friend. You know the one. They keep asking even after you've said no.
Ah, yes, classic. My advice? Be firm, polite, and repeat if needed. Don't get pulled into guilt.
I have that friend. I once said no to helping them move a couch, and they called me 3 times, showing up at my door with snacks.
That's tricky. Snacks are dangerous, but you handled it, right?
I did. I really appreciate the offer, but I can't today. Maybe another time.
and I didn't cave.
Perfect. Repeat if necessary. Firm and polite.
Example 2, the guilt tripper. They give you the sad eyes or dramatic sigh when you say no.
Ah, yes. The Oscar-winning performance. My tip? Stay calm, don't apologize excessively, and use a friendly but firm phrase.
Like the time my neighbor said, "Oh, I guess I'll just do it myself then," with those big eyes. And I said, "I'm sorry, I can't today, but I hope it works out."
Spot on. Kind, but you're not letting them manipulate you with guilt.
Example 3, the bossy type. They act like your life belongs to them.
Yes, very common. You have to be polite but clear. No room for ambiguity.
Like when my manager asked me to redo a report late at night. I said, "I'm happy to help tomorrow during working hours, but I can't tonight."
Perfect. You gave an alternative but kept your boundaries.
And I didn't even bring snacks. That's the trick with bosses. You can't bribe them.
Exactly. And example 4, the easygoing person. Sometimes they don't even expect a yes. They just want a heads up.
Yes. You can be polite, short, and friendly. "I can't join today. Thanks for understanding." Done.
Easy peasy. And sometimes the easiest people to say no to make us nervous for no reason.
True. And the last type, the family member. Emotional pressure guaranteed.
Yes, very tricky. You need to balance respect and your own needs. Something like, "I love helping you, but I can't today. I'll help another time."
Or, "I can't eat your experimental casserole tonight, but I'll come for dessert."
Classic Jess. Perfect balance of humor and honesty.
So, listeners, the takeaway? No matter who you're saying no to, the key is polite, firm, friendly, and sometimes a little humor.
Exactly. Adapt to the person, but protect your boundaries. No guilt required.
And remember, even if someone reacts strangely, it's not your problem. You can't control their feelings. You can only control your no.
Yes, say it kindly, confidently, and move on. And sometimes throw in dessert.
Always dessert. All right, David, let's wrap this up and give our listeners a little recap.
Yes, today we learned that saying no isn't rude or mean. It's actually healthy, kind, and powerful.
Exactly. And it saves you from becoming a sleep-deprived, chocolate-deprived, overwhelmed yes machine, like I sometimes am.
Or a grumpy, overcaffeinated, overbooked Mr. Confident business owner. Guilty as charged.
Remember when I said yes to 3 birthday parties in one night and ended up eating cake for survival? Yes, and don't forget my experimental casserole incident. I said yes, regretted it, but dessert saved my soul.
Exactly. The funny thing is, all our yeses that didn't really matter cost us time, energy, and sometimes our sanity.
Yes, but now we know a kind no protects your energy for the things that actually matter. Your hobbies, your friends, your coffee, your Netflix binges.
And dessert. Always dessert.
Yes. And we practice so many polite no phrases today. Thanks, but I can't. Not this time. I can't today, but maybe next week.
And the mini role play showed that saying no can be fun, polite, and even leave room for a laugh.
Exactly. And let's not forget the psychological tips for different types of people. The persistent friend, the guilt tripper, the bossy type, easygoing people, and even family.
Yes, and our main takeaway, no matter who it is, you can say no politely, firmly, and sometimes humorously.
And sometimes you can even sneak in dessert while saying no to the main course.
Perfect example. And listeners, remember, every time you say no to something small or unimportant, you're saying yes to what really matters in your life.
Yes, your peace, your energy, your hobbies, and maybe your chocolate.
Exactly. So start practicing today. Say a kind no where needed. Protect your time, and see how much better you feel.
And if you accidentally say yes too much, don't worry. Just laugh, learn, and maybe order extra dessert.
Perfect way to end it.
Yes, healthy, kind, and powerful no's with the side of humor.
That's right. And don't forget, saying no is not selfish, it's self-care.
Amen to that.
All right, listeners, before we go, here's your little homework for the week.
Yes, try saying no just once this week, without guilt. Just one.
And notice how good it feels, protecting your time, your energy, and maybe even your dessert.
And we want to hear about it. Share your funniest or hardest no moments in the comments. Trust me, we all have them.
Oh, yes, like the time I said no to alphabetizing DVDs. Or maybe the time I said yes to 3 birthday parties in one night.
Speaking of yes, Jessica, I have a tiny favor. My birthday party is coming up and my apartment, well, let's just say it's a creative mess.
Oh no, you're testing me now.
I know, you're super busy with your teaching and all, but could you help me clean it?
David, that's so against everything we just talked about in today's episode. But I love you and I love your parties. Fine. Yes, I'll help.
You are the best. This is exactly why I keep you around.
And just so everyone knows, this yes comes with a warning. I may bring my own snacks as motivation.
Perfect. That's fair.
Okay, listeners, see how tricky it can be? Even after learning all the tips about saying no, sometimes a fun yes slips in. And that's okay. It's about choosing your yeses wisely.
Exactly. Balance is the goal, not perfection.
So remember, say no kindly when it matters, say yes to what matters, and don't forget to laugh along the way.
And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, share with friends, like, and comment your funniest or hardest no stories.
Yes, we love reading them. And it keeps our podcast cozy, fun, and full of laughs, just like this one.
Until next time, protect your time, your energy, and maybe keep a little dessert nearby.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, everyone. Stay kind, stay firm, and stay joyful.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.